Our first reviewer needs no introduction. It is Micah Toll from Electrek. If you're part of the e-bike community, you have seen this face somewhere before. And today we're going to be discussing how he makes his reviews, how he makes his money, and most importantly, can he be trusted? First things first, Electrek is part of the 9 to 5 network. You might have seen some of their videos in 9 to 5 Mac, 9 to 5 Google. They've been around for a long time, and Electrek is sort of the EV arm, if you will. They discuss other things such as green energy, solar power. From the looks of it, looks like they get most of their buzz from Tesla news, other EV news, and electric bike reviews. Electrek may be sort of a strange reviewer to tackle as our first video because there are some caveats, and we'll talk about those as we go along. It's not a single reviewer where it's this guy, it's his face, it's his thing. Micah Toll is part of a bigger network. However, because these videos are watched by tons of people, I think it's important to look at him and say, like, hey, what kind of reviews are these? You know, can they be trusted? And so that's what we're gonna do today. Next, let's talk about the style of reviews that the Electrek e-bike reviews normally take on. Now, normally we have something kind of like this where the bike's set up outdoors. Mike is here, he says, hey everybody. He introduces the bike that they are about to review, and then they jump right into the review. Now, the rest of the review is usually what I would call B-roll. We're not getting any active audio from the GoPro or 360 footage. So that's why I'm referring to it as B-roll. Now, it is action B-roll. Having a 360 camera, being able to look at him ride the bike is really an invaluable service that he's doing, because there's a lot of people, especially with direct-to-consumer, they're saying, you know, hey, I'm like 5'8", how do you think this bike would fit me? And it's difficult because everybody's different sizes, our inseams are different, heights are different, reaches are different. However, when you see Micah on a bike, he's riding it around, you know, putting it through its paces, then you can sort of get an idea. Now, while we're watching the B-roll, we have the voiceover. So Micah will do a voiceover, presumably at some other time, probably after he's had a chance to experience the bike and has captured all of the footage that he's already captured, because he talks about it in a perspective that makes me think that that's already happened, it's been in the past. So then let's talk about what he's saying when he's doing his voiceover. Now, with the Electrek reviews, sort of due to some of the constraints, time being maybe the most important one, there's a lot to say about these bikes, and they don't have a lot of time normally with the Electrek reviews. They are a little bit on the shorter side, very digestible pieces of content. Now, a lot of the language that's used is a little bit flowery, or a little bit, what's the right word? What's that? Sensationalized. Sensationalized, that is the word I was looking for. And I'm gonna cut it so you didn't see me pull out my phone and look it up. So they use a lot of sensationalized language. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not an advertisement by any means. It's not, this bike is amazing, but there are words like awesome, exhilarating, things that tend to be a little bit more positive and maybe a little bit more towards the extreme end. So for those reasons, it can come across as a little bit promotional, but again, not really an ad. So let's talk about how Micah makes his money. Now, as we've said before, this is a bit of an interesting case because he reviews bikes for Electrek. Now, Electrek is a bigger conglomerate. Again, 9 to 5 Mac, 9 to 5 Google, all those guys. So the way that they make their money is probably in a ton of different ways, which is good for us because it also gives them some leverage to, A, not have to pay for reviews, have a product where if the product's bad, he shouldn't have any problem saying that because their livelihood is not riding on whether the review is good or not. Now, that's not to say they're not making any money from the YouTube videos. If you go look at their YouTube channel, you'll see that they get plenty of views. A couple online calculators I was looking at, looks like they make anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 a month from ad revenue. And the other way they make money is affiliate links. So most of the reviews that I have seen, if not all of them, have affiliate links to the bikes that they review. Now, that is one way for a channel to make money. Not a bad thing. A lot of channels do that. Usually the caveat is like, hey, look, here's the bike, here's what I found out about it. If you would like to purchase it, if it hits all those boxes you're looking for, please use the affiliate link. It helps out the channel. That's awesome. There are also Amazon affiliate links in the description. Now, the 9 to 5 network that Electrek kind of falls in with, they have a page describing how they use their affiliate partnerships, and I'll have a link to that in the description if you guys want to check it out, kind of do your own research here as far as how they participate in these affiliate programs. The other revenue stream that we should probably talk about is advertising. So Electrek itself, they do lots of stuff. They talk about electric vehicles, Tesla, green energy, all that sort of stuff, and Micah just handles the e-bike stuff. They have a team of people that do different things that are all part of the Electrek machine, and right now we're just focusing on Micah and the electric bikes. But they do have ad revenue coming in from the website. In tandem with the video reviews that we watch on YouTube, Micah also has a write-up which has a few more details, a list of some of the important specs there, and so that's being put on the website. It's giving another page to get some more ad revenue from the website. All of that to say, if we were going to look at where their money's coming from, or at least what we can make an educated guess as to where their money's coming from, it seems like they're fairly out of the zone of we have to make a good review, because they've got the audience looking at the YouTube videos, they've got the plays, they're making money from that, and then they're also hosting on the website, getting ad revenue from that as well. So if they get a bike and the bike's not very good, I don't see a lot of monetary reasons why they wouldn't tell us that. So from my perspective, my opinion is that they're fairly well established and in a good position to give us a genuine, unbiased third-party review. Next, let's talk about opinion. So there are some reviewers who they get paid to give their opinion on something. And when it comes to review types, it's a review type, right? There's people who just say, hey, this is my opinion on it. I like it, I don't like it, and people get paid for that, and that's awesome. When it comes to third-party reviews that are supposed to be coming from somebody who is an authority figure, like Micah Toll, mechanical engineer, author, YouTube personality Micah Toll, you expect there to be a little bit of objectivity, right? He's looking at something saying, hey, here's the components, here's what the experience was like. Now, experience in general, something that's sort of opinionated, and I think Micah does a pretty decent job about saying, this was my experience, or this is what I like. It might not be for everybody, things like that. So when you catch somebody saying things like that, it shows that they're aware that the information that they're presenting at that moment is an opinion. It is subjective. Now, when it comes to Electrek Reviews, I would say the opinions land somewhere in the 6 to 7 range. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot of rating things. I don't think my opinion on everybody's review style is necessarily that important. However, it's just for me to look at it and say, like, hey, objectively, here's some opinions that are said. I like this, I don't like that. Most of the time, like I said, I think it's phrased in a way that lets the viewers know, hey, this is opinion incoming, or what I just previously had said is my opinion, not necessarily fact. And he does that most of the time in the reviews that I've seen, and I've seen quite a few. Again, they're easily digestible, anywhere between that 3.5 to 5.5 minute long review. And you've seen some that are longer than that. I don't know if I've seen any that are shorter than 3 minutes, but they could be out there. So there's not a whole lot of time to preface everything he says with this is my opinion, and there's not a whole lot of time for him to say after he says an opinion, oh, that's just my opinion though. So it's very hard given the format to fault him on that. And again, he reviews bikes for ebikeschool.com, and over there it seems like he's a little bit more candid, a little bit more open. Seems like that is more his thing, but we'll have to review that at another time. The next thing we'll talk about are the production details. What equipment do they use? Do they have a team? Things like that. Now, from watching the reviews, it's very difficult to tell if there is a team involved with the e-bike reviews. As we mentioned, Micah also has ebikeschool.com, and I'm pretty sure he's doing his own editing and video production over there. And like I mentioned, we'll talk about that in another video. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably a one-man band. Based on looking at some of the ebikeschool.com footage, it looks like it's a similar editing style. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he's in charge of filming and editing the videos and publishing those for Electrek. So that's my guess. We won't really know unless we could sit down with Micah and ask him, but that's what we're going to guess for now. As far as equipment, he uses a combination of a DSLR, he's got the 360 camera, and the GoPro. One of the affiliate links they have in all of their reviews is a link to the GoPro Hero 5. So I don't know if he's still rocking that or it's just an old link, but at one point, or even still now, he is using a GoPro. So as far as I can tell, that is the equipment he is using to make these reviews. To wrap it up, I'm going to give my personal opinion on Micah Toll and his Electrek Reviews, and that would be that Micah Toll has seen pretty much every electric bike that's ever been made. He's got hands-on, he is tested, he is well-versed in the subject, so I think that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to electric bikes. Now, I think that the short-form nature of the Electrek Reviews don't really let us see his perspective, don't really allow us to get a lot more insight maybe into the products than some people who are looking to purchase it might need. So would I suggest somebody watch an Electrek review if they were torn between two bikes and really wanted to make a decision? I don't think so. I think that sometimes the flowery language or the excitement and just the general production value may tend to steer it a little bit more towards the promotional side. Not to say that Micah Toll doesn't call out things that need to be called out. So if he sees something, he's like, yeah, I didn't like it. For example, with the new Schwinn review, he was like really disappointed in the battery, wasn't great, hopefully they can fix it. So yeah, it's not gonna not call out something that is not up to par. Now, would I send somebody over to ebikeschool.com to learn about how e-bikes work, to help them make a better educated guess when it comes to buying an e-bike? Well, you have to stay tuned to find out when we cover ebikeschool.com.